Hello and welcome to Amethyst Star Crafting. My name is Jane Ormark and I'm a UK independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. And we are looking at Thoughtful Blooms again because this is a free stamp set which you can get with a qualifying order during Sale-A-Bration. Runs till the 31st of March. For every £45 you spend within the annual catalogue or the mini spring summer catalogue, you can choose an item in here absolutely free. So who doesn't like something for free? This particular stamp set has lots of lovely little images. We've used some of them before. I've done a couple of cards, so look back if you missed them. But we are going to be making some more flowers, but not using what you would think you would use. So let's get started. We need some scrap. So little tiny piece of scrap because we don't need a huge amount. I'm using mint macaron for this one. And we are going to take this tiny little leaf image here. Okay, not the solid one, but the inside one. And I've already mounted it on a little A block. We're going to start by making a centre point with this tiny weeny little one here. So I'll just take that one off and pop this little centre in, and the centre we can do in the same colour because it's actually not going to show. So we're just going to put that down and that gives us our centre. Then we are going to take this little leaf and we're going to create a flower. So we're going to take the first one and we're going to put it at the top. Then we're going to turn it round and we're going to put the second one at the bottom. Now, it doesn't matter if they're not exactly perfectly aligned. You can probably get a little bit better than me. I'm trying to do it with my bright light, so it's not the easiest. But if you do it one on each one of the quarters, it will then help to balance it a little better. And then we're going to take in between, so we're going to intersect those and put one in there. One in there. One in there. And one in there. Oops, I've just missed the little top of that off. I can get that on almost. Okay, so we've now created a little sort of flower and we are then going to very simply just fussy cut this out. Now, don't worry about going right the way down to the bottom of it. Just go down sort of half, 3/4 of the way round, and what you want to do is to get the top of this leaf, or what's becoming a petal. So it's the top part that's important, not the piece right down at the bottom. So don't worry too much about going all the way down. This one I took off a little bit, so it was a sort of a double stamp, but again, don't worry too much because it's only the top of the petal that's really going to show. So if you're somebody who's very accurate, fantastic. If you're somebody who's not as accurate, it really doesn't matter that much. And I will show you why just in a minute. So we're just going to quite quickly just cut this out. And then we're going to do exactly the same thing with another one. So we have two of them. And I will get the other one that I've already done rather than you seeing me do this for two. So we're going to do exactly the same thing. Just finished cutting this one off. Okay, so we now have our little flower like this, and that bit can go in the bin, that bit I can use again. And so this is another one that I've done exactly the same. Then I'm going to take a little bit of Wink of Stella. You can use just a normal paintbrush and water. You can use the other stamp, which is this one. And you can fill it in yourself with that in a colour of your choice if you wanted to do neutrals. But if you use the Wink of Stella, what will happen is it will just colour in some of this and just spread it through just a little bit. Mint macaron's quite pale, so it doesn't show as much as some of the other ones. And I will show you, I've done some in pinks and things as well, but this was the last one. So I'm just literally going through. Wink of Stella on the camera doesn't come through very well either, but it gives a really nice sort of little sparkly shimmer and just adds a little bit of extra detail to this little flower. So I'm just taking each one of these petals. Again, not spending a huge amount of time. It doesn't have to be. When you're using Wink of Stella, it really is just giving that little bit of sparkle, moving some of that colour around to just make them not quite so stark. And there we have our little petals in there. So a little bit of wet glue. You could use a glue dot if you wanted to. Wet glue's the finest. Now, I always look and see at which one I think looks the nicest, and I think that that one probably looks the nearest to how we want it. So we'll put a little bit of glue in the centre of this one, and then we are just going to offset this. So I'm turning round and just lining these up so that they're just offset, and then just gluing them down carefully. Tombow takes a second to dry, but we can put that out to one side. Now I'm going to do a centre for this. You could leave it as it is, you could just put a gem inside, but I wanted to create a centre that was different. So I'm going to take this tiny weeny, no I'm not, I'm taking the other flower piece. There's so many lovely little flowers in here. This little piece, this one. So this little centerpiece here, and I'm going to do that in crushed curry. So we can get our tiny little scrap back, and if you want to, you can cut that out. However, as I was telling you the other day, if you're somebody who has been with us for a little while, and I know that some of my customers have, they keep their punches and they use them again and again, even when they're retired. And that's part of the lovely thing. Our products last and last and lasts. So you don't have to buy things literally just when it's our sale time. If you've got a collection of punches, I have got this punch. Now, it came in a series of 3. Don't ask me the exact name of it because I can't remember. There was a little sort of flowery one like this. There was a circle, and then there was a sort of a cross flower. So, but this works perfectly just in the centre like this. And then it will take this little tiny piece out, and then I can put that in. Now, I can do it with dimensionals. I'm not going to do this with dimensionals because I don't want too much of a layer on it. So a little tiny bit of glue in there, and then we can pop this little centre just in on top, and that gives us a nice sort of bright little yellow part in the centre of the flower. So I have done a few. So let me show you what I've done. I've taken, because this is the mint macaron, so I thought I'd do mint macaron at the back. And I have done one in Calypso Coral, one in Gorgeous Grape, one in Flirty Flamingo, and one in Coastal Cabana. You can do whatever colours you want. You can do them all the same colours. And I thought that we would put those on and just make a very pretty, simple card without too much fussiness in on there. So I've got just a piece of this one. I was doing something to the other side, didn't like it, turn it over. You don't have to waste anything when you're card making. You've got 2 sides to every piece of paper. So if you make a pattern on the cardstock and you're not that keen on it, flip it over, use the other side. So that's exactly what I'm doing with this. And then this is going to come in on here. So we've got that for our base. I'm going to put this one in, and these pieces I am going to do with dimensionals. So let me have a look and see what dimensionals I've got. I need to get some of my standards out. I've got a lot of minis at the moment. So here we go. Oh, I've got quite a few pieces here that I could use. Right, let's use the ends of these up. I always cut them down and leave those tiny little pieces in the middle because they work really well when you just want a tiny little piece. So I tend to do that with all of the bits around the edges. So I've cut them down so you've got those tiny pieces to use at another time. So let's, I don't know what colour I'm going to do or which way I'm going to do it, but I'm going to put this down first because I want this in place so I can then line the rest up behind, so that then we sort of centre it. So I'm just putting a couple of dimensionals. Our dimensionals, as I'm always saying, are exceptionally good. They do stick, and once they're down they last for a long time. So I'm just going to take that and put that down in the centre like that, and then we'll put the dimensionals in on these ones, and again we just need one in the centre. So taking those pieces out at the side, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I need to cut another piece for that. Make it 5. And as I say, I've left those little tiny pieces because they will go into little tiny gaps that I want. So let's take them out and see colour wise what we want. Okay, so I quite like having the 2 pale ones at the bottom and then these ones along the top. I think like that probably. Yes, that'll work. So you can see on this one, that one, if I put it that way round, it's not completely centred, but it doesn't matter that much because like everything, you can turn it round so that it works. I think probably about like that will work better. So we'll put that one on there, and then we'll put this one on here underneath because we want these ones balanced with that one. So let's have that one like that. Then we'll have this one the other side. If you do either side first, then you can get the one in the middle as centered as you can. So if I put that one there, then I know that when I put this one in, because the sentiment is acting at the bottom part, I can make sure that this one comes in the center. So let's just put this one in like that, and then we'll have this little one down the bottom. But I think it makes a really pretty card, and another way of doing some pretty flowers just using these lovely little leaves. And we could then take, let me have a look and see, I've got some I've got metallic pearls, and I've also got some I've got so many things in here. I've got little metallic pearls. They would look quite nice in the centre. I've got some clear faceted gems. They would look nice in the centre. I've got some silver ones that would look nice, some more faceted gems. And what I was looking for was these ones. So I've got these tiny little pearls as well, which you can see I've coloured some of them in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that size. They'll work perfectly, won't they? So we'll have these. So you can take them up with the any part of the take your pick tool you want. So I think I'm just going to take them up with these and just take them off the bottom like that, and we'll just have one just in the center like that. Oh yes, that finishes it off nicely. One in the center there. Whoops, sliding it across. It's a good thing. You can put it into position, and until you press it down, because they've got little glue dots on the bottom. That one can go in the centre. That one can go in the centre there. And that one can go in the centre there. Okay, so we've now just finished it off with some pretty little pearls. Put those back in a minute, and you can see you've got an absolutely beautiful card like that. I've also done the using exactly the same little punch, which is this little tiny one, and using the petite petals, which is an old retired one. Works exactly the same as the new punch in there, same size, and all I've done is just trim off the edges. And you've got these ones as well, which again look really pretty, and you could take them across and just put them on a card on their own as well. So I might do something with that later on. But you can see how many different things you can do just with this one lovely stamp set, which I've just thrown on the floor. But this Thoughtful Blooms, I'm really impressed with this. I haven't even used this piece yet, but there's so many different ideas, and I haven't used this one with the little berries on them. So lots more to come, but I hope you enjoyed this one, another way of making some beautiful 2-layered cards using just a little leaf. So thank you so much for watching me. Do look forward to seeing you again. Bye bye.